sing.
We're Arsenal, forever. We are Arsenal.
Run to Wembley.
We love Arsenal.
Well, good evening all and welcome to the FTV Sports reaction show of the Arsenal versus Everton game, which finished Arsenal 0, Everton 1. Do you know what? I'm not even going to start on the game. I'm going to start on our club's fan base, really. And there's obviously a short podcast we did earlier, which we had someone there, and it was the fans there was myself and Gums are on there with Hanif. He was there actually at the Armoury, outside the Armoury. The fans there were amazing, turned out in their thousands. And what I wanted to show basically is first off is a video from our man, the legend that is Ian Wright.
I stand with him, Steve. I made it clear the other day what I think about the owner. I think they're right to be outside there. I think that a statement from the manager as well. The fans have every right to be out there saying what they're saying. KSE are not fit for me, not fit to run the club, not fit to own the club. We've heard Josh Kroenke say that they're not selling the club, and I wouldn't expect them to. It's a massive cash cow for them. But if they are going to stay and run the club, then it's going to have to be done under different terms. And this is what I like about it. The most I like about it, and the only thing that you can seek solace from is that the government are going to be I think it's Tracy Crouch who's going to be doing a review on club ownership, everything to do with what owners like that do and what they don't do. We're talking about a silent owner. Somebody's, since he's been at our club, he's not investing in our club properly, the way they buy the club, the way they service the debt with the club. The fact that they wanted to go into this competition, it's like they've given up on us, and you listen to what Dean Smith said about competition, and that's what they want. They want, if you're going to be an owner of a club, it's going to cost you money. And if it's going well, it's going to cost you money. If it's not going well, it's going to cost you money. What Stan Kroenke has done in the time that he's been at our club, he's been middle road. Anything that's going to cost him, and he's nowhere to be seen. And that's what we can't have anymore. I don't think he's fit for purpose at the club anymore, Steve. And the sooner we could get him out, which is going to be tough. That's why if we can't get someone like him out, then we're going to have to go towards the government and keep them pushing to try and get legislation to get these people to do the job properly.
Strong words indeed there from Ian Wright, but for me, the right words. We've had over the recent history the fan base being split, Wenger in, Wenger out. Some people trust the process, not trusting the process. People on the other channels where you have people fighting because they're unhappy about certain channels trying to profit from, or saying that they're profiting from Arsenal losing. But the scenes outside that club and today, the stadium today, and what Wrighty basically said there, this is one fan base that's absolutely united. Everybody wants Kroenke out. They're not fit for purpose. They should not be anywhere near our club. And the sad thing is that when they were invited, when Kroenke was invited on the board, I always remember, I think it's Peter Hillwood saying at the time, "Oh, he's the type of person who has the Arsenal traditions in place, etc., and all that kind of rubbish." Gumza, I mean, you was with me on the stream we filmed earlier. Give me your thoughts on obviously those scenes, and also what Wright has said there.
It's actually nice to see the fan base united for once. I think it is time for change. Okay, it's a business, but as you said, football's a bit different. It's not a business where you might necessarily make money. Actually, it's about, do you know what I mean, taking the team you've invested into the next level and push them forward. And every year we've just gone further and further backwards. Part of it again is he's just happy with what's happening, and that's what the frustration is. I'm not going to say he hasn't put money in or whatever else or whatever behind the scenes, but I think it's just how long he sits on his hands and doesn't make decisions. And that's what has kind of enabled the club to really fall backwards. Because yes, we have spent money, not like the big clubs, but the investment's been wrong. The management teams put in place have been wrong.
Yeah.
And it's, again, as I said, I'm for Arteta, but I can't make excuses for him sometimes. At another club, would he be given this long? So I'm hoping he can turn it around. But if he doesn't, now we fall further behind again next year. That's another season where we've gone backwards again. So, yeah, I think it's that mentality of he doesn't care. If he could chop Arteta and make a bad decision, it could go wrong, but at least he's acted. I think it's the lack of action which really hurts. Again, Tottenham reacted quite quickly. I think they acted too quickly with Pochettino, but with Mourinho, acted quite fast. Chelsea with Lampard acted quite quickly. But Arsenal, we seem to just dwell and just sit there. And again, it's the same thing with the transfers, hence why we've lost so many players on a free transfer in the last 3 years, because it's just like, oh, he's not good enough, but we won't try and sell him. We'll just keep him here. And then all of a sudden, the person walks out on a free and we end up losing 30 million on a player again. We're never going to go forward with the management. And I don't think it's about the investment, but I think it's about actually the proactiveness. We're just not a proactive club at the moment. And that's the biggest impact on us, I think. We're just low. We're just in a low. And yeah, it's really frustrating.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. We're especially with the part that we're very reactive. We're never on the front foot. We're never proactive. We never get out and do things. It's the way we handle our transfers. There's never a plan in place, a clear plan in place. Look at that back end of the summer business we did, the whole saga with OR, and then last minute, boom, we paid the minimum clause for Partey. I mean,
with that, what you're saying, sorry, Canners, I do feel part of it's the theatrics. I think we're very good at theatrics. So I think Partey was done and dusted from the start of the window. I think that was always going to be, we was always going to bring him in. But I think if we leave it to deadline day, the fans would then go into the season a bit happier, because we could have tied that up weeks ago. Because again,
I don't know if it was. I think the target was. But
yeah, I think with it, why I say that is, I think Partey was always one that was going to come in. It's the it's there. It's in a release clause, so it's not going to be no negotiations. I think the stumbling block was if we had made the money on Guendouzi and Torreira that we wanted to make. So you're talking 25, 30 mil for both each. Now that buys you the Hassam hour. So I think the money for Partey was kind of there anyway.
This for me is the biggest problem at our football club, right? You're waiting, on getting rid of players which you have deemed persona non grata for so long, that have sat in status basically, in our team, which people can see needs improvement, and they can't even get it into this squad, and we're waiting for money. We're waiting to cash a check from selling these guys to do what we need to do to be a successful football club. Mm-hmm. Now, what Gumza says about it is a business at the end of the day, right? But when you stop becoming a Champions League team, you're losing money, so you're doing bad business. Yeah. So if you're not investing in your team to keep them in the Champions League, are you doing good business? Are you even doing good business? Like, to me, that says no. Because then it's the Europa League. We might not make Europe this year. then
So what do
then
you do?
then
If
you know then
if
we
you're
lose even more money.
manager,
You know,
if you're a,
and then
you know,
then
an
we've got
manager
players on
and
then
you
we've
come
got
out,
players on a
what
high
do you do?
wage.
What do you do if you come out of the Champions League and you are losing money? What do you do? That's
Quite
obviously
quite
it's a manager's.
quite simply, he should have invested at an earlier stage what was needed. If people say, "Oh yeah, he spent money," what he's done each time and every time is he has had people cry out blue murder that we need our team to be invested in, and then he's gone, "All right, well, there's one or two players,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like I mean, no one can look at Arsenal right now and not see a need for a squad overhaul. You know, one or two players is just going to plug the gaps, and that's what he's been doing since he's got here. He's got one or two players plug the gaps, and then those two players, they get brought in on a promise. They get brought in on a whim and a prayer. Don't worry, we're going to sign players, you know, that of your ilk, that are going to support you, that are going to help you in your role. These guys are waiting. They're sat waiting. Alexis Sanchez, he goes, he gets bored of waiting. Van Persie, he gets bored, he goes. Fabregas, he gets bored, he goes. Henry, he gets bored, he goes. Like literally, it's the same toxic, repetitive, terrible cycle that I'm just sick of, and he's not changing it. If he was going to learn from it, he would have done it 10 years ago.
Yeah,
You know,
and
he would have done it then, and
with
he's
what
going
you're
to do
saying,
the same pattern again now. You know, with
I want to come to Brezzy. Sorry,
Yeah.
King. I you know what? I can't argue with anything what you just said there. You've pretty much hit the nail on the head with the, you know what? It's that kind of that syndrome when you can see that pattern with certain players who, you know, certain star players waiting and then getting fed up because it's never, you know, broken promises.
and then we blame the players.
Yeah,
And then we blame the manager. But the thing is, you look at Arteta, you look at Wenger, you look at Unai Emery. They were all hamstrung with these small budgets.
Yeah.
But then it's their head on the chopping block, not Kroenke's. And he thinks he's playing chess with me.
Yeah.
No, he's playing checkers. Come out of it. Yeah.
So I want to come to Brezzy. I mean, in regards to you know, tonight's game and the issues that have gone on and stuff. Obviously, I think the game took a back seat to the goings on really during the week, and obviously the scenes outside the stadium today. But what King and Gumzo have touched on there is the failings and the rotting. You know, it seems like a decay basically of our club. Where do you stand on it?
I totally agree. I think for years now we've seen as Arsenal fans, you know, the shortage that Arsenal have come from. You know, Arsene Wenger had 20 years of Champions League. You know, now we're 5 years in the Europa League. Now we might not even be making Europa League this season if we get knocked out. So it's very, very clear that we're on a decline. You know, and like King was saying, you know, it's all right plugging one or two gaps, but the squad needs an overhaul. You know, we can't keep relying on Saka and Smith Rowe, who are 19, 20 years old. You know, we should be having picked players in there who are 25, 26, teaching them what they need to be doing, let alone them dragging our team to try and even qualify for it. So
you know what happened? They'll do a year or two here, and they'll get bored of it. They'll get sick of it. They'll go, you know what? If you're not going to bring better players to us, you know, I was reading an article about Teddy Sheringham today, yeah, and he was talking about when he left Spurs to join United, and he said he had that feeling. I stayed at Tottenham for so long, and I was waiting for them to bring better players. I never wanted to leave, he said, yeah, but the better players weren't coming to me, so I had to go to them.
Yeah. It's the same thing. That's how we got Sol Campbell, because that would never have happened if we didn't have the mindset, the club, how it was then. That was all pre-Kroenke. Man, I mean, tonight's game pretty much was. I said yesterday I wasn't, I wasn't interested, and I maintain that today. I'm just not interested in our league form at the minute. We just can't seem to string anything to. I actually think Saka and Smith Rowe were poor tonight. I really do.
They're burnt out. I only caught the second half because I came in from obviously going to the stadium, but they look tired, and rightly so. They're kids. You know what I mean? They're playing against fully developed men, you know, in any game possible, because the senior players around them aren't pulling their weight. So, I mean, you know, I can't really blame them. I can't sit here and ask for any more from those two. You know, it's just they should be asking more of everyone around them.
Yeah, because they should not be carrying the team. If you look at all the players that come through in those days, you know, your Fabregases, your Van Persies, you know, your Ashley Coles and everything. Look at the players they had around them. You know, look at the players that they had protecting them. You know, helping them out. And you know what? That's why probably not the best thing to go back to it. But when we had the gunslingers with Lee, it kind of like showed you when his first day was, when he walked in and he was asked, okay, whose boots do you want to clean? You know, it's Adams. And then when he saw Adams, he was totally and utterly starstruck. And then from that, training with those guys, you know, that ilk, you know, that standard of guys. The telling thing is that today we said, all four of us who was on that podcast, that stream, we all said, who are those boys looking up to today? Who are they looking up to today? Give me one player that Saka is looking up to today and saying, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm going to learn from him. I'm going to do this, that, and the other. Who is he looking up to? Nigerian Englishman, sir, welcome. Bit of a somber one, really, obviously, with a poor defeat, but we started.
I need that guy.
Personally, I got to deal with you. That's what I'm saying to Eddie and Ketia right now. Personally, personally.
We are gonna get there. We're not going. He had a drink. No, man, I need a servant, man. Who's gonna pass me a drink?
I mean, I be in Nigeria. Things are different here. Things are different here.
I tell you what, bro, you always bring a smile to my face. Bless. But look, listen. That's the thing. Who? That's
nobody.
You know what?
Nobody.
This is one thing that I want to say before I come to you, Mr. Nigerian Englishman. Is I'm going to be controversial here, right? But all those years that we was saying that, oh, you know, we're getting into the Champions League, so top four, we're not challenging for the league, right? We didn't realise where we was punching above our weight, right? We was a big club, but not
with the players we had at the time,
players we had, right? We as a fan base, right, and I hold my hands up to this, right? I demanded more, but the problem I had is that I expected more, right, because of the stuff of the stuff that we did previously. Right? I thought we were still on that kind of level. Now, fast forward, and we're here where we are now, with the club where it is behind the scenes, and it's a shambles the way it's run, from top to bottom. You know, from you know, technical direction to the board. I'm not sure, but I can't cuss the tea lady and all them people there. But should we even be saying that we should be higher than ninth as a club? Because the way we're running, the way we're dealing with things, how can we expect more as a fan base? We are where we are because that's the way we deserve to be.
Do you know what? Yeah,
I want you to tell me I'm wrong.
I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of where you are, kind of. But my thing is this: are you telling me there's 8 teams that have better squads than us in the Premier League? Is that what you're telling me? You can't tell me that with chest. You can't. In fact, player for player, there's not 8 teams that are better than us.
Well, I can't tell you that we're that I can't every team, there are 7 teams that could have an argument, right, to be better than us. And that's my problem.
Like tonight, for example, tonight,
Leicester
we had it like tonight.
Than us. Yeah.
Tonight,
West Ham can have an argument that they're better than us.
bro.
Leeds
Tonight, now all these games that all these teams an argument is different to the facts in it. The facts in terms, if we go for ability, we don't have the 8th best team in the league. We don't. Let's be
I don't
honest.
think we're far off that.
Yes,
Listen,
I'm not saying we have. I think we
when
have
we
a top 6 team. We have a top 6 team. We should be in
we
the top
don't.
6. We
I
do.
think-
I
I think
reckon we should be in the top 6. We should be challenging for the top
5
6.
better
I don't think
teams.
so.
I can give you 5 better
Bro.
teams and squads than us right now. And I,
So wait.
I couldn't even argue.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question then. Do you honestly? Are you telling me honestly, hand on heart, that Brendan Rodgers wouldn't get more out of the squad than Mikel Arteta? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I don't know.
Nah, like I'm not having that.
I think he does.
I'm done with Nketiah.
I'm not saying he finishes higher than 6, though, to be honest. but-
I'm done with Xhaka. Those kind of players. I'm done with them.
I'll be honest. I think Brendan Rodgers would get more out, but I agree with Canners. Our squad's not good. I looked at our front. I know we got injuries, but I looked at our front four. Nketiah, Saka, Smith Rowe, and Pepe. I looked at Everton's, Sigurdsson, who's had a great career, Richarlison, great player, James Rodriguez, and Calvert-Lewin. Like, that's no comparison. That's no comparison at all. So, I think we think our players are better than they are.
Okay, so let me flip it. Let me flip it as well.
Yeah, go on.
Let me flip it because you guys you're nearly 100% right. But what I would say is this: if our manager made some better decisions with how he kept the team fresh at times where he didn't have to risk players, we probably wouldn't be having these many injuries. Because, for example, the lack of injury should never have happened. Saka looks exhausted because he plays every minute of every game. My issue tonight is if you're going to play Emile Smith-Rowe and Saka for the 90 minutes, knowing we've got our biggest game of the season on Thursday, our biggest game, this Europa League or bust, you're playing them for 90 minutes, you better make sure you fucking win that game.
Yeah,
you better make sure you win that game.
He has just cranked up the pressure to 12. he's wrapped it around past 10.
I think with Arteta, for me, like, I think, the analogy I would use here is making him the problem is basically like trying to bring a tree down while snapping a branch. You're not getting to the root of the problem.
Yeah.
Arteta was made our manager. Yeah. That decision was financial, right? The salary he would demand and the resources he would demand to buy players was lesser than Ancelotti, who spoke to the Kroenkes both before Emery was hired and after Emery was hired. Ancelotti told the Kroenkes to take a running jump both times. Why? Because both the salary and the resources offered to buy players was embarrassing. Yeah, right? This is the thing. He's there because, we are prepared to sacrifice experience for money in the bank. That's the real problem. Do you understand? Like, arguing over Arteta's decisions what you would expect of someone who has not managed
No experience.
before.
Work experience.
He has no managerial experience. He's literally learning stuff on the fly. And he is making mistakes. He is making mistakes, and I can sit here and deliberate them.
To be honest,
and it's obvious that a more experienced manager would get more out of our players. So why isn't a more experienced manager there?
But we say that.
This is why I don't even get drawn into the Arteta stuff.
That goes back to what I'm saying about us as a club. We are because of the way we're run. We're not that.
To be honest, you're right.
And we say that, but Emery didn't get much more out of these players. Wenger didn't get nothing out of these players, and that's part of the issue we've got. He's come in and he's demanding certain things from these players, and they can't do it. And this is half the issue. What he's demanding of them, they can't live up to it. Again, we didn't play well today. We didn't play well today, but look at what we concede again. Like, what more can you do? You're giving away goals like that again. Don't get me wrong. Going forward, we didn't do much. but we haven't done much for a long time. I can't put this all on one manager because he's setting up the system. When these are going on the field, it's 11 players. Do you know what I mean? And they're just not.
The thing is, the players that he gets to go on the field with is determined by what an owner does. If an owner sits down and says, "Right, I'm going to give you this to sort this problem out," then I'll judge him. And the thing is, it's all three of the managers, right? Literally, Wenger got replaced by Emery, and in that corresponding window was given a budget of £40 million.
Yes, nothing.
3 years ago, that would have barely bought you one player. Yeah. Now,
Chris, could you imagine?
That's buying nothing. And literally, Arteta got the same thing when he started.
Would you imagine we're going into
December? He got told you can't buy a player in January.
Yeah, but could you imagine going into a semi-final with Xhaka as your left back, Callum Chambers and Rob Holding starting in your back four?
He got squared up by Richarlison.
Brother, why stay on your feet?
By the way, guys, why did I say we should have played Suarez? For that exact reason, yeah. Xhaka will get found out against better players in that position. And Richarlison is definitely in that category.
You're right. That's why I wanted Cedric to play as well, man. But the thing is, like, the thing that's going on at Arsenal is like, imagine remember when you were like at high school, yeah, and you went on work experience. Imagine getting told, hey, the manager's been sacked, man. You're stepping in, bro. Like, imagine you're going for work experience 2 weeks. They say you're stepping in to be manager, bro, and then they're giving you like, what are you gonna do?
Not giving you the resources to work.
Yeah,
with
no peas. You ain't got no peas. Yeah, just figure it out, bro.
His hands are tied. Hands are tied.
You're right.
I mean,
right.
an experienced manager, you could probably say, look, I based on your experience, I expect you to work with more limited resources because your experience and your pedigree tells me that you could probably get a bit more out of the players that we have here. But if you bring an inexperienced manager who doesn't have that experience of having done that, you've got to back him more. So this is the thing. There's no strategy. There doesn't seem to be a cohesive strategy because they're going for inexperience to save money. But actually, the only way that strategy is going to work is if you back them heavily.
Yeah, they need to.
And Lampard got back heavily, and that didn't save him the job.
So listen, what I want to get onto now is obviously the result. I see hairs. I just want to see this. I just want to. Your views on this, guys. Please, boys, let's not even try and blame this on Arteta. He put out a team that was available. Look, I ain't got a problem with the actual 11, to be honest.
Couldn't do much more of it.
We're in a sorry situation this season due to our own doings and official simple. And the bit I want to get onto is VAR and our penalty that was not a penalty. That was onside, in my opinion. I cannot see how that was offside. Something's got to be done about VAR. How are they doing it from that particular angle? Why isn't it like
that was like Saturdays? Did you see the angle with sack the offside light on the weekend as well against Fulham? The angle was crazy, mate.
This is an absolute joke, and do you know what? That's why even more so. This is for me, right? This has been for a long. I probably since the 1993 season because I remember how poor we were then. This has been up there with that. I mean, I just don't. I'm beginning not to care about the league right now because all this stuff's going on. You got all the stuff with VAR. It's just that it just kills the game, man. Bro, it just kills the game. And but having said that, we should have dealt with the situation and have VAR not even come into the equation. And the fact of the matter is, and I'm going to come to your man, Mr. Nigerian Englishman, Eddie Nketiah. That dude is the more I see when I see him, the more it winds me up, and it just confirms more and more week after week. Every minute I see him on that pitch, that we are a club in steep decline and regression. To have he's a championship player.
bro. Can someone explain what happened to Balogun tonight? Is he injured or what's going on? That.
But see, this is why I want to go back to that comment, and it's like I want to defend Arteta.
Do you get what I'm saying? But he does so much madness that is like you're like
when you see a continued, sort of deficiency going forward, and you wait so long to start Martinelli. Before when it was Christmas, you waited until everyone was injured to get ESR and into the team. It goes back to what Gums has said. You're not being proactive. So as a manager, it becomes difficult to defend that. For me, I think another thing, and you go back to the preview show, and I said, Richarlison is not the kind of guy that you have Xhaka, being a left back against. You're better off playing Suarez. Yeah, that's just basic stuff. Gums had chimed in and said, well, he's left-footed. He's going to be cutting in onto his left foot from the right-hand side. So if Suarez is squaring up against him on his right foot, it's going to make it easier to get the tackling. It's just
the biggest thing about Arteta.
You'd rather play a centre midfielder against one of the best attacking wingers. That was going to fly against Sheffield United. That was going to fly against Racers FC. This is a different animal altogether. Not to sense the need to change that. These are basic things, man.
And just going off King's point, by the way, just going off what King's saying there. Look, like Arteta has a habit of when something works one time, he's like, "Yo, I cracked it. Yeah. We gotta rinse that one now. Rinse it. And then he rinses it till it gets found out, and then he's changing it up. Look,
you know what? That's the thing. I can wheel them all off. Remember, he's doing whack. All of a sudden, he puts a banger on the left.
He bangs in goals for a bit. He's like, that's it. Then, even though we were creating like 3 chances a game during them times there, and he was scoring 2 out of the 3, but he didn't. He thought, I've cracked it. The season starts. Then what happens? Nothing happens until we get a number 10. Smith Rowe, so he plays him every single game. Not thinking he's a youngster. Let me put him in and out of the team, keep him fresh. Or better yet, I'm signing Odegaard so I can rotate the 2 number 10s. No, he thinks, no, I've got to throw them all in there. Yeah, fuck it. Just throw them all in there.
But do you know what? One thing I will say to defend him is the same thing I've been saying with Willian. Everyone's been on Willian all season long. And I said, I can't even get onto Arteta or Willian. Because Willian shouldn't be near the first team. And do you know what? That's telling me more about Nicolas Pepe than it is about Willian. Like, Saka has done his job where he's saying, doesn't matter who you bring in here, I'm starting, wherever you right,
wherever you want to play me, you got to put me in the team,
I want Pepe to play, and I watch him, and I'm thinking, he's so hit and miss. Like,
do you know how painful it is right now? It's tiring watching our team.
Right. Yeah, it's frustrating.
It's tiring, and
see, Brezzy's a broken man, bro. He's just there, like, Brezzy, talk to me, bro. Talk to me. What's on your mind, Brezzy? Tell me what you're thinking, bro.
We don't have the time for it.
Oh my God, guys! Look, listen. What I'm gonna do is
the only thing I will say is I have seen Pepe, and I think over the last couple of matches,
Pepe did it right today.
He done all right, but it's still nothing spectacular, is it? Not for 72 mil.
But I'm not even gonna chime him up with the whole 72 mil because that wasn't his issue. We know that Sanelli, whatever, took some money from that anyway.
Like 9M from that.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, he was probably a 6 out of 10 for us, while everyone else was 4s and 5s.
I reckon the centre backs did played quite well. I reckon Leno let them down in terms of
holding Armoury 6.5.
All right. I think Ceballos controlled the game again and was doing bits. My guy, bruv. But I just think again. I think today showed why we miss Laka so bad. Do you know what I mean? There's
because if Laka was playing with some of those there's half chances and some of those
creates a little something. Yeah, he does a little something. But I've been saying for years we miss a player who's going to get on the ball, turn and beat a player. So I feel Iwobi, as much as his end product used to frustrate the life out of me, the biggest compliment you could pay him is we didn't realize how bad Kolasinac was until Iwobi left.
That's
I
actually
remember
true,
watching.
That's
I remember
actually
watching
hard.
like, and he gives you an option. He was so strong. I remember we played Tottenham, and the tactic was keeper could just ping into Iwobi. He was just pinning Trippier and spinning, and then we're playing. So again, that frees up so much space. At the moment, I watch our team, and everything it comes into them. It just goes backwards where it came from. Apart from Lacazette, he's the only one, and that's why Lacazette drops so deep. Because it's our turn then, and I get us playing forward. So I'm looking and I'm thinking, unless we go and get a Grealish or a Depay, I think we're going to be in the same boat for however long, because we're just missing like the Cazorla. Do you know what I mean? Those guys who
for me it's the instruction. It's the tactical instruction of, you know, when you talk about not having that player that turns and drives at people like
and again they offset teams.
Yeah,
they
but
offset
the thing
teams
is also it's like
beating one or two create space elsewhere.
Smith Rowe's kind of that.
But the likes of Emery and Arteta don't like that. That's why they got rid of it from the squad. Do you know what I mean? They don't want players that pick up the ball and drive at people. They want these triangles. They want these patterns. They want you to go sleep and look at the chessboard of passes, like on the ceiling, like as you're sleeping, and wake up and then like do all that on the pitch. You know, like sometimes you just need to go to like the fundamental basics of football, right? And I can honestly say, you know, it was, you know, Iwobi probably was the last player that we had that can turn and actually drive at people. Pepe is that sort of player, and he does try to do it, you know, but I think it's a big step up this league. But I genuinely, what I'm trying to say is the managers are actually putting shackles on that. They're saying to players, don't do that. They're going for this. I can't put
Arteta in that bracket. I feel Arteta's been given the worst of it. If you look at what Emery got rid of, the Ramsey, the Wilshere, Cazorla. I know Cazorla's injuries, Wilshere's injuries, and hasn't got on to anything. And then Ramsey, you didn't want to pay the money, but that's three great creative players that we've missed out.
I would have kept Jack. I don't know what everyone feels like. I would have kept Jack. Players you play.
It just gives you something different. So I do feel Arteta's had it hard, because if you look at, I remember the complaints we used to have before is we used to have 6 number 10s trying to get in the team. Riziki, Wilshere, Cazorla, Ramsey all playing the 10, and now then one's got to go left, one's got to go right, one's got to come deep. But now if you look at it, obviously I know we've got Smith Rowe and Odegaard now, but we've kind of lost.
They're still young. Yeah, they're still young. Finding themselves players and stuff like that. But I wanted to say a little disclaimer in terms of Pepe. Like, if you watch my channel, I've killed him like throughout this year. Like, I've killed him. But what I don't get about Pepe is as soon as he has a good game, he doesn't start the next one.
Yeah,
he'll come on in that game. He'll come on in the game, and then we'll get onto him because he probably isn't like make an impact from the bench. But why, when he has a good game, scores a goal, sets up a goal, he's not on the, like, I don't get it. Like, so like, how is he supposed to feel the confidence of the manager?
And that's where I think Arteta has put faith in some players more than others. I do feel for Pepe sometimes. I remember he's had a good 2, and you're thinking he's going now, and then all of a sudden he's on the bench. So for him, it's the frustrations. I can understand that 100%.
But then he lets. How many games has Willian started this season? Like,
he played a lot at the start.
Come on, man. Like, there was time where the fans were killing him about Willian, but nope, still throwing him in. He's never done that for Pepe. Not once.
100%.
I just want to see Pepe one time just get like 5-6 games in a row, like, and whatever he does after that, like, I'll judge him properly. But he's never had that since he's been at the club.
For me, guys, now,
what I want to do now is listen. It started off somber, and listen, I know we can get all passionate right now.
Disrupt the whole thing. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
No. Listen, it's healthy. It's a healthy debate.
Therapy is therapy out
here. Yeah.
Exactly. But I just want to get one-liners from each one of you, really, before we close up. I'm just going to actually just quickly read this one. What we got ahead is comment. Once again, the comedy of personal errors continues to blunt our defense, and that's been us all season. And do you know what? Good teams don't have those issues. Good teams do not have those issues. Good players do not have these continuing deficiencies with their defense. There's something wrong, something totally wrong.
Yeah.
I think what I want to ask you all is going forward. Just I listen. I know everyone could probably write a thesis on this, but I just want you guys, if you can, keep it short. What happens next? Where do we go from here? I'm talking of the immediate future now. We know we're probably, we're not even going to be 8th. We struggled to get 8th.
Yeah, I've been preaching 8th, but now
I'd say we're on 10th now.
We're safe now. I mean, we're safe, guys. We can't.
We're safe.
We got past the 40-point line.
But what I want to ask you guys is, what does Arteta need to do? And also as well, that's the first question. What Arteta needs to do for the rest of this season, and does he stay or does he go if he doesn't achieve, what you want him to achieve, and also what you want to happen going forward with the actual club itself in terms of the hierarchy. I want to start
that in one line.
What? What?
All that in one line.
That's a whole stream, bro. What the heck happened there?
You listen. My man King can wrap this up in literally 1 minute. I bet you any money, King can wrap it up in 1 minute.
Right. The first thing
King to wrap this up in one-liners. Boom, boom, boom.
The first thing,
King,
right?
take it away, bro.
The owner needs to put up or shut up. It's that simple, right? The whole thing is collective, yes, but it comes from the ownership, yeah. He's got to put up or shut up. We've got to sort out our recruitment. We got to look at how our scouting is done. Like what influence the manager has on that. We've got to realize that we are getting from a manager what we paid for. We didn't pay for experience, so we're not getting experience. And I think what he needs to start doing is learning from his mistakes. I want to defend Arteta and I want him to be at this football club. But when things are not working and he keeps doing the same thing, and what I'm talking about here is the system. Yeah, like this building out from the back, this patient probing, we're not scoring enough from it. So any other manager would go, well, we need to try a new system. We need to try new methods. We need to try new players, or we need to try something new. Right, and he's not doing that. So that for me is what needs to change in Mikel Arteta. And yeah, I think the owners now, I said at the beginning of the show, I think it's like 200 million this summer or nothing. Nothing's good enough. I'm not saying that because, the kind of players we need, Van Dijk cost 80 million, right? Like we need players of this ilk, 30-40 million pound players. No disrespect to them. Yeah, we can unearth a few gems, but we need world-class players, and world-class players cost world-class money. Yeah, 200 million, you could spend that on 2 or 3 players, or you could spend that on 4 or 5 players. But you could almost get more from 2 or 3 of the right players than 4 or 5 average ones. Like that. So that's what's got to happen. It's all got to happen together.
I love that. Listen, I think you've put it all there in a nutshell. I think that was. I can't disagree with anything what you said there. In honesty,
it starts with Stan. It starts with Stan Kroenke. It's his house. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you walk into your house and it's a mess, you clean it up. Do you know what I mean? If you need to buy some paint on the walls to make it look presentable again, you got to get the paint.
You have to do it yourself,
or you pay someone else to do it. I don't know. You do whatever. If you want to repeatedly walk into your own house and it's this mess, then you just sell the house. Just sell the house.
Right.
Just get rid of it.
Reggie,
it's not for you.
Reggie, talk to me, man. You can be quick, just as quick. Let's go.
Wow. Obviously, Europa League's literally the main thing now. He has to win that because otherwise the season's pretty much been shit. Well, it has been shit anyway, but
I was going to say that's an understatement of the year, man.
Europa League 100% has to do it. In the summer, we need massive investment. If Kroenke's not going to do that, then set up shop, fuck off. Bring someone else in who's actually going to put the money on the table. No one's crying when Man City's owners came in and spent how much money, millions they spent on the team, and they won the league because they get back the money they spent on it. So if Kroenke's not going to start spending the money, then bugger off. Yeah, short and sweet. Sorry.
No, it's all good. I mean, obviously, look, we're emotional today, man. For more than just it's not just the result. Gamza.
This season's a write-off. So do you know what? Just play who you're looking to keep for next season. Then the rest, bin them off. Continue for me, Arteta. Continue to clear out. You've got rid of 5 or 6 in January. Let's get rid of the other 6 you want to get rid of now. And then Kroenke, just got to put some money in this year. Just got to back him. Do you know what I mean? And then we go from there. As I said on the preview, I don't know if Arteta's the right man, but just let him continue to rebuild for now, because otherwise we're just going to keep going around in the same cycle. We're going to keep players who are not good enough because they performed for 4 games. Look at last year, Mustafi played 3 good games and we're offering him a contract. Do you know what I mean? Just, for me, I think I do think he's ruthless. Yeah. He's shown he can be ruthless. So at the moment, he's got to play with what he's got, but I do believe he's got a ruthless streak in him. So, do you know what? Let him. I wouldn't complain if we got rid of the whole squad and started again over the next 2 years. I wouldn't. Like the whole thing. There's not one player in there who I like Aubameyang and Lacazette as characters.
Lacazette as well, obviously.
I do like Lacazette, but even if you said, he's not the striker, because I don't think he's the striker Arteta really wants. But so for me, just do the clear out. We just got to start again. It's poor. It's demoralising. I feel sorry for my son. On to the next one.
What do we do, Mr. Nigerian Englishman? Where do we go?
I don't know.
Everyone,
let me try.
Tonight,
bro. This is what I would say is let's all be honest with ourselves. Arteta's getting another year in it. It's quite clear that that's happening. He's
definitely getting another window. Yeah. He's definitely going to stay up through the summer. So
what I would say is as he's getting another year, back him when it comes to summer, at the very least. I still don't think he's necessarily the guy, but he's staying, so I'm gonna put up with him whatever he's doing. But I think 4 players gets us into the top 4, and I don't think the 4 players would cost up to 200 million, but I reckon 4 players get us in the top 4. I don't think we need to clear out everything. There's some nice bits in there that can work, but I just don't think the manager's getting the best out of them personally. But what I would say from now to the end of the season is the same way he used the league to kind of keep people fresh for the FA Cup last year is how he should be using the league this year. Yeah. I don't want to see players like Saka and Emil Smith Rowe risked in pointless games. It does. I don't understand. What was he trying to achieve by playing them today? The funniest thing is when I did my review, I said this is a nothing game. I don't give a damn about this game. It's all about Europa League. But the whistle went, and for some reason, my emotions always takes over me. When Arsenal playing, I'm like, it's a nothing game. I'm going to relax, sit back, kick up. But it's Arsenal, isn't it? They don't allow them emotions to be quiet.
I was watching the game, and I was just like, I don't give a damn. And then I was like, oh, man, these Everton players are chucking it. Come on, man. Go.
Thank you.
And then at the end, you hear all the Everton players. All that. I'm just like, man.
And our fans now need to be more realistic, because somebody said to me before the game.
First Everton win.
Don't say it.
In 25 years.
Brother.
Away
from home
against Arsenal. They haven't won in 25 years. Right? So
John Hartson was our club when we last lost, brother.
This is like a personification of the rot, right? The Kroenke literally has brought to this club.
But
You know?
I do hear
Vince
you.
McMahon
But
tried to
I
win us
honestly,
still.
Chris, sometimes I look at our management team, even before, like underneath Kroenke, some of the decisions they make are crazy.
Bro.
So even if you look at the Alexis, when you could have made 60 and go and spend that on Mahrez, instead you take 0 and take Mkhitaryan, then you get rid of Mkhitaryan on a free transfer 2 years later. Like, I can't even blame Kroenke for that.
Brother,
What Kroenke should do is step in and say, I'm taking the 60 mil, and then we reinvest. So as much as it's unpopular
Could you imagine?
opinion,
No, we would have killed Kroenke for that.
but again, in hindsight, that's where you get paid the big money, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. But I want someone
Hindsight's
to
a
ask
wonderful
me.
thing.
Answer this question for me. Like, tell me how Edu is at our club, bro, in the
Do you
position.
know, I don't think he's done bad.
But wait,
I don't think he's done bad.
wait. Whether he's done bad or not, like, how did he get the job? Just by being invincible? Is that all you need? You just play for Arsenal, you get a job.
He taps into that Brazil market.
He was doing stuff at what? So no. Actually, I'm
I
gonna
don't
give
know
it a
what.
forecast. He was
I don't know
exactly.
what. I don't know what.
He was in
Brazil,
this dream that he was at Corinthians doing bits, or he was at Brazil. Like what bits, bro? What bits?
But again, we've had experienced guys in them posts and done nothing. I said, look
I tell you one who I was sad to see to go, and that was Mislintat.
Yeah. He knew he knew his
Right.
stuff. Yeah. Again, he looked at the mess and said, "These guys are on a joke thing. These guys ain't
He went
serious."
to what, Stuttgart over Arsenal?
Man left after 6 months.
That just shows you, brother.
Yeah.
Stuttgart over Arsenal.
He was a bad man. He got fair enough.
He got Guendouzi. No, I don't think.
He got Martinelli.
For me, Guendouzi needs to come back in the
No, he
side.
didn't get Martinelli.
Yeah, he did get Martinelli.
He did,
After
didn't
his
he?
first season, I said Guendouzi be my captain. After his first season at Arsenal, I said he'd be my captain. Like, as much as he's got his mad side,
attitude in terms of when he's on the pitch,
Comes out. Don't you like his mad side?
I love it.
Yeah,
Do you know what? I love it. And this is Arsenal lack characters. Most important, we lack characters. So Lacazette should be our captain before anybody else. He's got a bit of fight and bite. And again, Guendouzi's the same. Guendouzi takes charge. I can't fault a man who's going to stand up strong and be counted for. Like, I watch, he's a kid and you got grown men and you're looking at Guendouzi.
He's squaring up to big man. Like, saying,
he's looking to fight. He's going to stick it about a bit. Like,
bro?
He's got character and heart. And I get he's got to change up his ways a bit because in the change room, you can't have what you hear he's doing. But do you know what? At the same time, at least he's a man who's going to go out there and show a bit of fight and desire.
Listen, everyone in Arsenal is grey, bro. Grey.
But
no personality whatsoever.
And this is where this has been going on for the last 10 years, isn't it? This has been going for the last 10 years. When you're hearing stories of Alexis is saying we should be winning, and Bellerin and them man are saying, he trains too hard or he wants to win too much. It's the mentality from them times is now where it starts to spiral into this. Like, we've got no characters. I look at watch the Premiership years. When you watch Man United's best teams in the tunnel, they didn't talk to nobody. When they're in the tunnel, they're stood and they're ready to fight. I look at my players and we're all happy. Andre Santos was trying to swap a shirt. Like, what kind of madness am I seeing? Do you know what I mean? So this has been going on. And again, Wenger didn't like certain characters in the dressing room. And it started to stem into what you see now, where we've got just a bunch of softies. Do you know what I mean?
Grey brothers.
So, you know what? The thing is, as well, I think the managers have changed as well. Just one thing I just want to touch before we leave. I watched. I don't know if anyone else did. It was quite old, but Rio Ferdinand did a stream with Zoom chat with Van Nistelrooy.
Yeah. I know the part.
And that era, right, of footballers, right, was the last era of proper footballers.
Do you
know what I'm saying? And managers as well. We had Sir Alex kind of like telling Van Nistelrooy wants to go for the golden boot. Ferguson says, "Nah, you're in the stands. You're not even on the bench, bro. You know what I mean? We didn't win the league, and
individual celebrations for you, brother.
Nah. And that though messed with Van Nistelrooy's mind to say, do you know what? I'm already thinking about next season, and I'm going to make sure we're going to win the league.
Like, wait, brother, imagine
do not have that mentality,
Yeah, and I think this is where the player power as well.
We've got no one
Brother,
with that mindset.
Imagine seeing an interview like Pogba's about Mourinho during the Ferguson era. Can you imagine seeing it? Like, people were rating Pogba for that. I was screaming at the screen, like, so basically Pogba saying, Ollie, you're a side man. You dare not go against us players. Can you imagine, bro?
But this is the problem.
Not go against us players.
And this is why I stand with Arteta, because at least he stands for something. Like, when you've done something wrong, you're out the door. So that's the one thing I can stand with Arteta for. As much as I love Guendouzi,
I don't know. I'm thinking there's certain players. If we get, I don't think Aubameyang respects Arteta.
Nah, some of them don't. And again, this is what I'm saying. You're not bigger than the club to me.
You would say that Aubameyang is probably our top player, right?
Yeah,
and
he's the big name, innit? Yeah, he's the big name.
We've got to lead by example, and he doesn't lead by example. I'm talking about on the pitch and off the pitch. And the thing is, again, I don't think that Aubameyang respects Arteta simply because Aubameyang's looking at Arteta and saying, "What have you done?"
But then I have to then look at Aubameyang if that's the case. I look at Aubameyang more than Arteta if that's the case, because you're given responsibility. Why should I then think, because it's him, I'm down in tools? But again, this is where, for me, the old school players had, like you said, some mentalities. You look at Roy Keane, it didn't matter who would probably be manager, he's demanding certain levels. So when you see he's left the Ireland squad, because he's saying this ain't acceptable.
No, I'm not on it.
World Cup, and this is not acceptable. So you've got to have that pride in yourself, and that's why I'd say I like Guendouzi, because he seems like someone, and Lacazette, where they're saying it doesn't matter who we're playing or who's the manager. That is the standard we set, and we're not dropping below that. Whereas if you're going to look and say, well, he's the gaffer, I'm not going to do nothing, then I've got to question you. Like, you shouldn't be my captain then. Do you know what I mean? So, I can't agree with that. I do agree Arteta's not going to command certain respect like Ancelotti, but again, I think in football, player power is too much at the moment. Like,
guys, we have
said half an hour.
He never said half an hour. Surely he did.
I did.
Not with a result like this, bro.
I did. I even stretched it to
in a week like this as well.
25, maybe no more than half an hour. But listen, man, we all love our club, man, and the thing is, we can all see things where it's going wrong. We can all see the decay. We can all see it crumbling around us, man. That the house that Wenger built, whatever, man, it's crumbling, man. There's some kind of rotten decay going on, and the foundations of the club are starting to crumble. Listen, we have a big game on Thursday. This is my week up. Naughty, man. My weekend's going to be horrible now. So, guys, any last words? Any other business, should I say?
From KL.
Kronk's
out. In case I didn't say it before.
Kronke and Nketiah out. Ooh.
I just want our next owner to be a fan of the football team, bro. That's it. Just be a fan of the team, at least.
Yeah, that's what we need, and that's the general thing. Look, I'm not even going to bang on Nketiah. I think, you know what, he's a young kid, and it's not his fault that he's surrounded by. Don't look at me like that, man.
But what I will say, Nketiah, I've seen Aubameyang have games like that. I've seen Aubameyang have 5, 6, 7 games like that. So again, I can't even look at my striker.
I can't fault Nketiah's
system. It's literally the system.
No service.
It's just pass sideways. Don't take too many risks when passing the ball forward. That means strikers don't get the ball enough. If strikers don't get the ball enough, they're literally on the pitch to score. If they don't get the ball, they can't score. It's just
true.
It's simple, like literally.
What are you saying?
In the final third, take 1 or 2 touches, look for the striker. My first coach always used to say to me, the first option could be the right one. So many times, sometimes you look up, you see them, they look up, they see 1 pass, 2 pass, 3 pass. You see them weighing up all the passes, they don't make a pass. That's literally because they are being told to be too cautious with the football. That is literally
you.
what Arteta is doing.
Don't
He is
express
saying,
yourself. They don't. He
above
definitely don't let
all else,
Pepe
don't
express
lose the
himself.
football.
King,
But if
King
you are
calls it
trying
as it
so
is.
hard not to lose the football, you're not
King
taking
calls
any
it as it
risks.
is. Yeah, listen, King spouts knowledge, man. He plays it as it is. We're too slow. We just, you know.
Yeah.
Do you know
But
what I mean?
again, that stems from we're so nervous at the back.
Yeah,
We're in our own area, so we can't hit no one quickly because we got to get on the pitch first. So it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Again, the system,
No, but
I feel
I'm not saying necessarily hit someone quickly by bypassing the midfield. I'm talking about in the transitions from defense to midfield to attack. You know, like sometimes it's defense, then midfield, then back to defense, then the midfield sometimes holds on to it and they look up. Eventually, it gets to attack. Just do that quickly. You know, just defense, midfield, attack. You know, like as soon as the midfielder has the ball, right, look up. Literally look up and look forward. Someone has got to be making space, you know, and pass it to him. Like that's literally how we learn to play the game, you know. Like you've got these guys, they're like, no, but if you keep passing from side to side around them, eventually their shape is going to break, and when their shape breaks, then you attack. And it's like, but what if they're really good at keeping their shape? One, and number two, what if they are so prepared for this plan that they know you're going to come with, that they get better at keeping their shape just because they know that's all they have to defend.
Players on a team that can do something
unlock,
extraordinary.
Yep, and that's why I say someone like a Grealish or someone is vital for us. Who
I don't know about that Depay thing, but Grealish,
No, even Depay, he's got the arrogance, which again would draw players beat one or two, and it creates space. And again, what Chris is saying, the reason why we build up like that is because
that's why I think Martinelli. I think he's got to play up front, and
he's just a runner, isn't he? So he gets locked off easy. I feel
like as a number 9, I don't think he's quite ready to be the leading man yet. But keep him on the left a bit.
Thursday, man,
you can't. In trouble. People don't understand, right? To play a system where you have one striker, right? You have to be like complete, you know, like
you can't just be.
You can't just be good at like. Nketiah is a good finisher,
running in behind.
You know, like you know.
Wait, what is he? Is he a good finisher?
You need to. Well, I mean,
when he puts on that under 21 shirt, a man walks into Ian Wright. He's like, but now
you know what?
You need to have physical presence. You need to be able to hold up the ball. You need to be able to play with your back to goal.
Yeah.
You need to be able to do all of these things. It's too many things, right? So, you know,
you say that, but I got one name, Jamie Vardy. He ain't got none of them capabilities, but for years he's been banging goals because the team around him works. And Diddy is just like two man in there, but Tillemans is an unsung hero. So and even the right back and left back, them boys can play, beat players, and all of a sudden you now free Maddison, who's in space. We can't free nobody in space.
The funny thing is, you're wheeling off their whole team.
Brother.
The whole team.
But the thing is, as well,
before we go, guys.
Gonza, quickly on that Leicester one, though. On that Leicester one, the reason why you get so much out of Vardy is because the whole system, the fullbacks getting forward, they're not putting crosses into the box. Like they're not getting to the byline and crossing. They're cutting inside and they're cutting the ball back on the ground to it. Then the midfielders, Tillemans and Ndidi, they're keeping it simple, but they're playing balls. They're playing balls through, like they're threading.
Yeah, they're threading.
Like, off of the shoulder of the defender, so to just run on the other side of. That's literally the system that I think we need to be using in the final third, because Laka and Aubameyang, they have the same qualities, they have the same strengths. You know, Nketiah, you have the same qualities, you have the same strengths.
I don't agree with that.
That's what I'm saying.
Abba and Laka have the same strengths. Nah, I can't agree with that.
No, but they have the same, like, I'm not saying, like, they have the same, they play off the same.
They're both not really, like,
they try and do the same thing. They try and play off the shoulder of the last man, you know, like, quite a lot.
Okay, yeah, in that sense, yeah.
Cool. But also, I feel part of it is, for years, teams come to Arsenal and say, break us down. We're sitting here. No one that approaches us.
Teams don't do that anymore. That's even more of it. Of where we don't.
We don't ever have. Again, we're so deep.
Teams come to us and say, we could do these.
Well, the
lot.
team
Yeah, they do,
takes
it's but-
their risks against us. Disrespect. I see flicks and tricks. Like, I'm for what? This man's doing a. Oh no, I can't. Nah, bro. I'm screaming at. I was like, how is a man from West Brom doing this to us? Or a
The worst
Burnley?
thing is,
Like, what's
if
going
we
on?
win that UEFA Cup, we go Champions League. I don't even want to watch them.
Right,
That's going to
mate.
be some long days. I'm only want to go in there for the money. I'm just going.
Literally,
I'm going there
thank
for the
you.
money. I'm going
Like,
like
the
I'm a
money
journeyman in boxing.
and-
I'm going to take my
and
cash
I-
and I'm going.
The money and the chance of attracting a couple man in the in summer,
That's
like,
all
we
it's
have
there
a higher
for.
chance, literally, and
Oh.
hopefully we can. But who do you guys want to be our number 10 before we like wrap up? Who do you want to be our number 10 next season? Honestly,
Odegaard. Definitely Odegaard.
Canners?
For me, yeah.
I would like it to be Odegaard, but I don't think it is. I mean, he's
Especially
surrounded by
for-
mediocrity.
Florentino
Yeah.
Perez ain't gonna give us no Odegaard now.
Yeah,
You guys
no, we
forget
dropped
that
out
one,
now,
brother.
boy.
Forget that one now, brother. They're not selling no one.
So obviously, Odegaard would be my number one. However, if we don't have him, it'd have to be ESR. I can't see us strengthening that position if we don't.
We need to strengthen that position, man. ESR can't.
ESR.
ESR's not got a whole season.
No,
No, definitely not yet. What do you
I
reckon,
think
Rez?
if we
Who
don't
do you
make
want?
Europe at all, we'll be back
Odegaard.
to trying to blood in some youth players and looking in lower leagues. That's how bad it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's how important Thursday is.
Mate, worst case scenario, we got Willett to come back, mate. So we're good, mate.
And on that note, and on that note,
Yeah, that's the perfect
guys,
close,
look,
mate.
listen, if you can enjoy your weekends, please, everybody, listen, as crazy as the day's been, the energy you guys give, man, is unsurpassed. I applaud you guys. Thank you. You know, we lose, but we're still here. We have a mass protest outside our ground, and you know we want the cronkies out. We're still here, guys. I applaud you. Thank you, and please smash those likes and share and subscribe. Smash those likes, and look, I want to say thank you all, and
Always a pleasure.
try and enjoy your weekend.
Love.
Bless.
We will.
Bless. So, oh my God.
Here we go again.
We definitely go again.
We are Arsenal.
Wembley bound.
We love Arsenal.
Oh yes,
We are Arsenal.
no mercy.
We're Arsenal.